Welcome to KilKare Speedway. I'm Nate Pennington. I'd like to thank you for buying this Pinstroke Productions at the track videotape. We're here with the NASCAR Weekly Racing Series Stock Cars Plus, the main event series late models, as are here tonight for their 100-lap feature. We're not going to waste any time. Our first feature will be up in just a moment. Please enjoy this videotape. And once again, I'd like to thank you for buying this Pinstroke Productions at the track videotape. And our first feature of the night will be the NASCAR Weekly Racing Series mini stocks up for their feature event. And they're going to line up this way. Inside row number 1 is Eddie Moore in the 45 pickup truck. Outside him, the 60 of Jerry Moore. Row number 2 finds Ron Wells and Frank Harvey. And in row number 3, truck number 10, Brian Brewer, and the car of Tim Stratman, car number 87.
Out on the track. Our Lang Chevrolet pace truck. Vehicles going down the back straightaway. Heading into turn 3.
Eddie Flora on 45 jumps out to that early lead, but Ron Wells takes it inside coming out of turn 4. And now Wells inside of the 45 of Eddie Flora, and Ron Wells takes over that lead in the 6 pickup truck. Eddie Flora back to second. Third belongs to the 17, Frank Harvey, and Jerry Moore running in 4th. It's still Ron Wells and Eddie Flora, 1 and 2. Frank Harvey holding on to third. 4th belongs to the 87, I believe, of Tim Stratman. Strike that. Stratman is a lap down. Jerry Moore runs in that 4th position. Truck number 6, Ron Wells. Eddie Flora right on his back bumper in second. Frank Harvey runs third. And that's just just how they're going to finish. Ron Wells, your winner. Coming home second will be Eddie Floor in the 45. Third will go to Frank Harvey in the 17. Fourth to Jerry Moore in the 60. And rounding out your top 5 will be truck number 10, Brian Brewer. Once again, your winner, truck number 6, Ron Wells.
Picks up his 5th event victory of this season. Congratulations to Dayton, Ohio.
And coming out next out on the track will be the Pure Stocks for their feature event tonight. Inside row number 1 is the number 1 car of Jeremy Everding. Outside him, the 28, Danny Sufferford. Inside row number 2, car number 25, Justin Miller. And the 71 of Jeff Marsh. Inside row number 3 is car number 3, Brian Roush, and the 6 of Craig Conover. In row number 4, 88, Ken Burnett, 24, Sean Miller. Row number 5, car number 53, Tim Dilge, and the 57 of Chris Popoff. Row number 6, 75, Brian Cottrell, 90, Steve Shaw. Row number 7, 63, Brett Clark, the 00 of Matt McCarty. Row number 8, number 8, John Schmidt, and the 73 of Larry Hornback.
Jeremy Everding, and the number 57 of Chris Popoff. In our 7th row, the 63 of Brett Clark. Number 0.
Suffering a little sideways. Jeremy Everding will lead lap number 1. Justin Miller looking on the inside in the 25 machine. And Suffering slips back to the 3rd. Jeremy Everding still your leader. Danny Suffren still battling on the outside. He is running second. Now Suffren with a slight advantage that time across the stripe in the 28 machine. Getting together. That's Justin Miller and Jeff Marsh down the backstretch. That'll bring out our first caution of the evening.
Justin Miller, and it is the 71 of Jeff Marsh.
On the restart, it will be Jeremy Everding, Danny Suffren, Ken Burnett, Craig Conover, and Chris Popoff. About to put a lap on. That is the 73 of Larry Hornback going a lap now. Danny Suffren still running second. Third still belongs to the Timbernet Net machine. still your leader. Car number 1, Jeremy Everding. Suffering closes one last time on the back bumper. Now once again, right on his back bumper, literally going through turn 4, but your winner will be car number 1, Jeremy Everding. Danny Suffern will finish second in the 28. Third will go to Ken Burnett in the 88. Fourth to Craig Conover in the 6th car, and rounding out your top 5 will be car number 57, Chris Popall. Once again, your winner, car number 1, Jeremy Everding.
Congratulations. Impressive going in equipment here this week.
And now it's time for the NASCAR Weekly Racing Series Pro Stocks to pull out on the track for their feature event. And they're going to line up this way. Inside row number 1, the 22 of David Jakowski. Outside of him, the 14 of Clark Wolf. Inside row number 2, 3 Darrell Norman and the 2020 of Ellis Lawrence Jr. Row number 3 is the 4 of Ron Lewis, the 97 of Jeff Wilson. Row number 4, car number 78, Virgil Powell, the 52 of Mike Miller. And in row number 5, car number 12, John Maloney, and the 99 of Ansel Massey.
And rounding up the field is the 99 of Ansel Massey. Jump on the field, but the most better David Jakowski waits in the number 3 is Darrell Norman.
And leader lap number 1 is car number 22, David Jakowski. Jakowski slips back. Darrell Norman now your leader. Jeff Wilson right on his back bumper in the 97 machine. And now Jeff Wilson looks underneath the Darrell Norman machine. Jeff Wilson takes over the lead. Ron Wilson runs second. Ron Lewis runs second, excuse me.
Now in first, Alpha moving up.
And caution comes out. One spinning down the front stretch. The 20 of Ellis Lawrence Jr. will bring out first caution flag for the Pro Stocks. And tough break for David Jakowski in the 22 machine. He hit the turn 4 wall in that incident with Ellis Lawrence Jr. And if you remember correctly, at the first of the year, David Jakowski and Rich Miller hard contact in the turn 4 wall, taking out both of their original cars. And this was a new car that David Jakowski just brought out about 3 weeks ago. And now he's got problems once again. David Jakowski in car number 22 out of this one with heavy front end damage.
And red flag stop.
On the restart, it will be Jeff Wilson, Ron Lewis, Darrell Norman, Virgil Powell, and Mike Miller. right on his back bumper. He runs second.
A
little bit farther back in the pack. That's Ellis Lorenz, Clark Wolf, and tell who that day at 99 of Ansel Massey. As if their leaders continue to do battle. Spinning down the back stretch. That's the 99 of Ansel Massey. Spins into the infield. He keeps moving. We stay green. Mike Miller and Virgil Powell battling side by side out there on the track. That battle for third position. Mike Miller in the 52 takes over third. Your leader still the 97 of Jeff Wilson. Ron Lewis running second. And Ansel Massey and John Maloney getting together down the front stretch, and Maloney spins into the infield. Caution comes back out once again as the track officials not liking the location of the John Maloney machine, even though it's off the track in the infield, just a little bit too close to the track. So we're going to move that car, and then we'll be back to racing here in just a moment.
We'll bunch up the field once again. From the beginning,
Jeff Wilson brings back down to the green flag. Ron Lewis in second. Mike Miller holding on to third. Me and Virgil Powell fourth. And Daryl Norman rounding out your top five. And now Virgil Powell spins over to turn 4 in the 78 machine. And that will bring out another caution.
Once again, the yellow flag comes out. Cars left. 15 laps in the book.
Jeff Wilson, your leader. Ron Lewis running second. Now Mike Miller takes a look to the high side of Ron Lewis down the back stretch. Machine still your leader. Ron Lewis running second. Mike Miller in third in the 52 car.
Going out here on June the 30th. Out of the last three.
White flag. 1 lap to go for your leader. Car number 97, Jeff Wilson. Ron Lewis running second. And your winner will be car number 97, Jeff Wilson. Ron Lewis will come home second. Mike Miller in the 52 machine will finish third. The third place will go to the number. Let's start again. The fourth place to the number 3 car of Daryl Norman, and rounding out your top 5 will be the 20 of Ellis Lorenz Jr. Once again, your winner, car number 97, Jeff Wilson. And now coming up on the track are the KilKare Modifieds coming up for their feature event. going to line up this way. On the pole, car number 10 is Steve Snap. Outside him, car number 3, Jerry Stapleton. Row number 2 is the number 1 of Mike Carroll. 31, Don Fleming Jr. 17, Ed Lawrence. And the 76 of Frank Harris. Yes. Row number 4 is 2, Steve Rickard. 58, Kevin Colvin. Row 5, Sky Hinkle. 88, Dan Williams. Row 6, Derek Barnett and the 86 of Roy Sowers. Row 7, Ralph Harrod and the 15 of Kevin Bloxon. Row 8, 12, Randy Poole. 18, Jim Bird. Row 9, 7, Alan Butcher, the 66 of Ken Stanel Jr. And out back in row number 10, car number 42, Jim Lewis Jr.
School buses will be back out here.
Oh, and we got a wreck over in turn 2. It looks like the Frank Harris machine and Dan Williams up against the wall. Also the 66 of Ken Stanel. So before we get started, we're to caution. All right, obviously we didn't get any laps completed, so that's a complete wide restart. You can see from the Bill Yo camera that sun becoming quite a factor as those cars round the corner of turn 3. The sun just blinds them, and you'll see that now. Boom! There's the sunshine. Now think if you were driving a car with a left-hand windshield and it was all scratchy and pitted and heading into the sun, would not be fun. But Steve Snap, car number 10, not having any problem. He is your leader. Good battle for second on back to fifth as Mike Carroll, Jerry Stapleton, Ed Lawrence, and Don Fleming Jr. all battle for second through fifth. Steve Snap, car number 10, your leader. Mike Carroll now runs second. Third belongs to the 17 of Ed Lawrence. Fourth to Don Fleming Jr. Rounding out your top 5 at the moment is the 3 of Jerry Stapleton, as the cars now have sort of gotten single file. Now Jerry Stapleton and Don Fleming Jr. battle side by side for that 4th position. Stapleton on the inside. It looked Fleming was attempting to get on the outside, move up around Ed Lawrence, and Jerry Stapleton wasting no time. Moves to the inside of that car, battle for 5th. Car slowed down the front stretch going to the pit area. That's the 18 of Jim Bird. Steve Snap, still your leader. Mike Carroll now looking to the high side in turn 3. Mike Carroll trying that high lane. Slips back just a little bit. The high groove not really being there quite yet. Of course, just wait till the super late models come out on the track for their 100th lap feature later tonight, and they'll quickly find a groove 2 and 3 wide at times. Now the 86 of Roy Sowers about to get lapped by your leader, the 10 of Steve Snap. Mike Carroll still running second. Sowers stays to the inside. All the leaders go around, no problem. That's how that's supposed to work. trying the inside now with Steve Snap, but Snap slaps the door over there in turn 2. And now the 6 of Derek Barnett, the lap car. He moves to the inside, and the leaders go around him. 3-1. Oh, and a little bit of contact there between the Ed Lorenz and Don Fleming Jr. machines as they were struggling to get around the Derek Barnett side by side. And everybody finds their way, and nobody really wrecks. As Benny Parsons would say on ESPN, that was a wreck that didn't happen. Mike Carroll continues to work on the Steve Snap machine as the laps continue to wind down. Carroll now looking to the high side in turn 1. Tucks back in, tries the low side in turn 2. Can't get the job done. Steve Snap still your leader. Mike Carroll running second. White flag, 1 lap to go for your leader, car number 10, Steve Snap. Mike Carroll looking to the outside once again in turn 1 and down the backstretch. And your winner will be car number 10, Steve Snap. Snap slides wide coming out of 4, and Mike Carroll doesn't have a chance. Mike Carroll will finish second. Third will go to the 17 of Ed Lorenz. Fourth to the 3 of Jerry Stapleton, and rounding out your top 5 will be car number 28, Ralph Harris. Once again, your winner and first time feature win for the 2000 season, and I believe ever in a modified here at KilKare Speedway, Steve Snap. And now our final NASCAR Weekly Racing Series event of the night will be the NASCAR Late Models. Inside row number 1, car number 5 is Dick Dunleavy Jr. Outside of him, the 70 of Joe Hill. Row number 2 is the 33 of Carl Stapleton and the 72 of Jerry Stapleton. Yeah, 33 of Carl Stapleton and the 72 of Jerry Stapleton inside and outside row number 2. Row number 3, car number 75, Gary Estes and the 2 of Dave Brandenburg. Row number 4, car number 22, John Vallow, 01, Gene Grace. Row number 5, car number 17, Sam Heckman and the 91 of Scott Drake. Row number 6, 34, Dave Ellis and the 18 of Greg Stapleton. Row number 7, Ron Simpson in the 23, 43, Will Spurgeon. Row number 8, 0, Jeff Wickman and the 29 of Tony Brunke. And out back in row number 9, car number 16, Rob Jacks. Backstretch flagman Don Betties tells him to think about it, boys. It's time to go racing. And that was the false start. Caution comes back out. We'll get them realigned and get a restart momentarily. All right. Don Betty's once again telling them to take it easy and slow down. This time Joe Hill makes the jump, and Dickie Dunleavy does not come up to speed. And I think that will be false start number 2 as the yellow caution lights do come on. Don Betty's on the backstretch has the yellow flags, as well does Larry Betty's, our front stretch starter. And I think they'll have a little talking to these drivers this time. Well, the old saying goes, 3 times is a charm. Let's see. That was a good start. We'll keep that one. Dick Dunleavy takes the lead down the backstretch. Joe Hill slipping back a little bit as Carl Stapleton gets underneath for second. Third belongs to the 70 of Joe Hill now, and Gary Estes now. Trying Joe Hill on the inside as Hill is slipping back through the pack now. Stapleton takes a look underneath Dickey down the front straightaway. Can't get the job done as Dunleavy maintains the lead in the 5-5 car. Dunleavy Jr., car number 5, your leader. Carl Stapleton running second. Gary Estes now runs third. Fourth belongs to the 70 of Joe Hill, and rounding out the top 5, the 72 of Jerry Stapleton, as Chris Stump and John Vallow battle side by side. That battle for 6th position. Vallow now has moved to the high lane and will try to find his way to the front in the 22 car. Dunleavy still your leader. Stapleton and the 98 of Chris Stump now battling for the 5th position. And now Vallow moves to the high side of Jerry Stapleton and is side by side with the 72 machine as Gary Estes starts to put the pressure on the 33 of Carl Stapleton. Vallow now riding that high line, looking at working on the 70 of Joe Hill. Side by side with Joe Hill in the 70 machine. As Dick Dunleavy Jr. still your leader. Now Vallow slight advantage over Joe Hill. And John Vallow will take over that 4th position as he comes out of turn number 4. Dick Dunleavy Jr. still your leader in the 5 machine. Dunleavy now about to put a lap on the 16 of Robbie Jacks. Jack stays to the inside, stays low, and Dick has no problem and gets right around. Carl Stapleton still running second. He'll come up on 16 of Robbie Jacks next. And John Vallow gets around the 16 of Robbie Jacks. Vallow running fourth and closing on the 75 of Gary Estes. Of Scott Drake and the 01 of Gene Grace battle side by side. Dick Dunleavy Jr. lapping some over traffic. The 23 of Ron Simpson goes lap down. As Carl Stapleton, Gary Estes, and Joe Hill nose to tail on the track, 2nd through 4th. Then a little bit spaced back to your 5th place car of Joe Hill. Carl Stapleton running second. Dunleavy now getting quite a lead over that 2nd place car. Looks like to be about a straightaway length lead. At least the length of the front stretch. As Stapleton comes out of turn 4, Dunleavy is entering turn 1, and the gap is widening every lap as Dunleavy really hooked up here tonight in the buck car. We got one spinning down over in turn 1. That's the 01 of Gene Grace. That brings out the race's first caution. Maybe I should say first internal caution of the race. On the restart, it will be Dick Dunleavy Jr., your leader. Carl Stapleton holding on to second. Gary Estes third. Fourth belongs to John Vallow, and the 70 of Joe Hill rounding out your top 5. Stapleton trying to find a way around Dunleavy. Can't quite do so as he sticks right with him this time. Dunleavy doesn't seem to be moving away. Gary Estes falling back a little bit from Carl Stapleton as John Vallow continues to ride on his back bumper. Dick Dunleavy Jr., your leader. Vallow looks to the inside and contact with the Gary Estes machine. Both cars go around on the backstretch. And also Scott Drake involved in that. Looks like maybe the two of Dave Brandenburg, as we got several cars. Gene Price in the 01. Yes, that's the two of Dave Brandenburg involved in that.
Turned around the wrong way on the racetrack.
And Dave Ellis in the 34.
And we're going to have help for the Dave Ellis machine. As it is stopped.
Let's take a look at that on instant replay now, see if we can figure out what happened. All right, we're going to take a look at the instant replay now and just listen to the Nat sound on this one and make the judgment for yourself. Restart, it will be Dick Dunleavy Jr., your leader, Carl Stapleton, Gary Estes, Joe Hill, and Terry Stapleton in the 72 machine. John Vallow had to go to the tail of the field for that incident. Dunleavy still your leader, Carl Stapleton second. White flag, one lap to go for your leader, car number 5, Dick Dunleavy Jr. Will be, for the first time in the year 2000 for the late models, Dick Dunleavy Jr. Coming home second will be Carl Stapleton. In the 33, Gary Estes will finish third. Fourth will go to Joe Hill, and rounding out your top 5 will be Jerry Stapleton. Once again, your winner, car number 5, Dick Dunleavy Jr.
Now here are the commands of all racers and fans like gentlemen. Start your engines.
Yeah. And track announcer Gunnar Boyle with the command. And we're about ready for 100 laps for the Super Late Models, main event series Super Late Models. But first, we're going to have the lineup. Inside row number 1 is car number 7, tonight's fast qualifier, a new track record holder, Rich Rohr in the 7 machine. Outside him, the number 24, that is Gary Wibke. Row number 2, car number 12, Matt Gribble Jr., and the 88 of Norm Davis. Row number 3, car number 7, Dick Dunleavy Jr. in the 75 of Marcus Malkwick. Row number 4, inside is the blue with white numeraled number 24. That's John Vallow. And the number 21 of Roger Black. Row number 5, car number 00, John Klein in the 97 of Mike Holland. Row number 6 is the 0, Joel McKnight, and the 5 of Gary Estes. Row number 7, car number 11, Chuck Silva, and the 24 of Ryan Tedesco. Now that is the red numeraled and blue colored number 24, Ryan Tedesco. And in row number 8, car number 7, Dave Wagner, and the number 8 of Ford Earhart. So we have 3 number 24 cars, the red and white one of Gary Whipke, the blue with white numeral 24 of John Vallow, and then the blue with red numerals number 24 of Ryan Tedesco. So in a moment we will have the green flag for the 100th lap main event series Super Late Model qualifier.
Green flag for the Antioch Tribe.
Gary Whipke takes the slight advantage through turns 1 and 2, but Rich Rohr battles back in 3 and 4, and side by side down the front stretch for the lead for the completion of lap number 1. Rich Rohr and Gary Whipke. Matt Gribble Jr. running in third. Now Whipke drops back into that second position, and Rich Rohr, your leader. Back stretch, car number 7, Rich Rohr, your leader. Gary Whipke running second. Now Matt Gribble Jr. closing on the Whipke machine. As John Vallow moves around the Dick Dunleavy machine. I believe that was for about 6th position. Rich Rohr a little sideways through turn 2 in the 7 machine, your leader. And we got caution on the track. I'm not sure what the reason is. Must be some debris on the track or something. I don't see a spun car. At any rate, we got caution on the track. We'll take a little pause, and then we'll be back with the green flag racing. And there is our problem. Dick Dunleavy Jr. with the car overheating. Fluids coming out on the track. So Dunleavy is being sent to the pits in the 7 car. Tough break for Dick Dunleavy Jr. On the restart, it will be Rich Rohr, Gary Whipke, Matt Gribble Jr., John Klein, and John Vallow. John Vallow runs in that 6th position. The 5th position belongs to the 75. There it is, a Marcus Malkwick. So Malkwick in the 5th position as Vallow moves to the high side now. Both cars are blue in color with white numerals. Kind of tough to see at some points. Vallow starts to work on the 75 machine now. They work behind the 88 of Norm Davis. So Davis actually running in the 4th position. And Dunleavy back out on the track in the 7 machine. He stays to the high side as the leader goes around. He is several laps down. comes out for the Aileen Dunleavy machine. More fluids coming out on the track. Dunleavy sent back to the pits once again.
Machine number 7.
On the restart, Rich Rohr, Gary Whipke, Mac Rebel Jr., Norm Davis, Marcus Malquit, and John Vallow. Up about a 6-car length lead over the second place of Gary Whipke as Vallow moves to the high side of Marcus Malquit. Vallow now making his move. He goes to the high side of Marcus Malquit and basically takes over that position just about as soon as I get the words out, and starts to work on the Norm Davis car number 88 machine. No doubt that John Vallow likes that high lane here at KilKare Speedway. He's around Norm Davis. John Vallow now runs fourth. He's got his sights set on the Mac Gribble machine. However, he has about 20 car lengths before he can get up and start mixing it up with the leaders. Rich Rohr is still your leader, Gary Whipke, and Mac Gribble rounding out top three with John Vallow closing quickly in the blue 24. Closing 3-car lengths. Vallow closing on the third place car of Mac Gribble Jr. And now John Vallow right there in the 24 machine, as he starts to pick and choose his way to try to find a way around the 12 of Mac Gribble Jr. And contact a little bit back in the pack between the 21 of Roger Black and another car. I'm not sure who that other car was. One of the yellow cars out here. It's kind of hard to see the numbers. As Vallow continues to work on the 12 of Mac Gribble Jr. And a couple cars getting together over in turn 4. It's the 00 machine of John Klein and the 21 of Roger Black. As they got together over in turn 4, the cars were sideways. By the time the camera got to them, they were really straightened out, but those cars were sideways. Gathered it back in and kept on going. Rich Rohr still your leader. 24 Gary Whipke. Second, third belongs to Mac Gribble Jr. and fourth John Vallow in the white number, blue number 24. Closing on some lap traffic. The first car they will encounter will be the red numeral, blue number 24 of Brian Tedesco. And as those of us who know who come out here to KilKare Speedway each and every week, the lap traffic can really factor in quite a bit these races. Rich Roar now moves to the high side of the 24 of Ryan Tedesco. Gets around just fine as Tedesco does his job. Stays low and stays out of the leader's way. And all four leaders that are running in this little pack here make it around the Ryan Tedesco machine. And now start to work on the 8 of Ford Earhart. Encounter traffic that probably string out just a little bit. Now the 0 and 70 machines are side by side. A little bit of a problem for the Rich Roar machine. 70, of course, is the Dave Wagner machine, and the 0 of Joel McKnight. Get straightened out, and the leaders go on past. Rich Roar now past the 0 of Joel McKnight. The 70 machine now is still in front of him, Dave Wagner. Wagner a few car lengths in front of the leader. And we got a couple cars spinning down the back stretch. The 0 car of Joel McKnight is one of them, and the other was the 24 of John Vallow. Vallow, problems with the lap car. Caution does come out as we saw the damage to the 0 machine. 24 of John Vallow involved in this incident, so your 4th place car involved in a spin. Vallow spun down the back stretch into the alligator pit. So we're going to sort this one out. We'll see how they call this one, and we'll be back to the green flag racing in just a moment. On the restart, Rich Roar, Gary Whipke, Matt Gribble Jr., and John Vallow. And now Vallow gets to the inside of Matt Gribble Jr., gives him a little nudge, and makes the pass over in turn 3. John Vallow now runs 3rd. Matt Gribble Jr. back to 4th. John Vallow and Matt Gribble Jr. And now Vallow in almost the same spot that he made the move on Matt Gribble Jr. Moved underneath the 24 of Gary Whipke, the red and white 24 of Gary Whipke. So the numbers stay the same, but the cars now have changed position. John Vallow, the blue number 24, now runs 2nd. Whipke now falls back to the 4th position as Matt Gribble Jr. got underneath him. So Gribble now runs in the 3rd position. Rich Roar is still your leader. John Vallow running 2nd. Roar slipped way wide through turn 3 the last time by there. And Vallow looking to the inside down the back stretch. And Roar slipped just a little bit once again. Makes it underneath the slower Joel McKnight machine and continues on motoring. John Vallow follows him through. Vallow looks to the inside once again down the backstretch. Rich Roar still your leader, but John Vallow right on his back bumper now. Vallow closes. And right there in turn 3, once again, John Vallow jumps to the inside and makes it just that easy. John Vallow, car number 24, your leader. Rich Roar back to second. And each time he got the 3 leaders in that turn 3, he just jumps to the inside in turn 3, and then in turn 4, they have to move to the outside, and he has the preferred line then. And John Vallow, now your leader. Rich Roar running second, Matt Dribble Jr. third, and the 24 of Gary Whipke in fourth. Once he got out into the lead, no surprise, has already opened up about a 10-car length lead on the second place of Rich Roar. Bit of dicing going on back in the pack. That's the 5 of Gary Estes, the 70 of Dave Wagner, and that all happening right in the front of your leader, John Vallow. As those cars battling hard out there for their positions right in front of the leader, and now the leader, John Vallow, moves to the high side of Dave Wagner and goes around, and the next to go a lap down will be the 5 of Gary Estes. And we got one spinning, couple spinning down the back straightaway. The 00 of John Klein and the 88 of Norm Davis. Looks like Mac Ribble also involved in the 12 machine. On the restart, it will be John Vallow, car number 24. Rich Roar runs in second, couple cars in between them. And then the 12 of Mac Ribble, and then the 24, red and white 24 of Gary Whipke. Trying to get around that 70 machine. He's been having trouble getting around the Wagner machine all night. with it as the leaders, the rest of the leaders, Rich Rohr, Matt Gribble, and Gary Whippy, having a problem getting around some of this lap traffic. Dave Wagner being one. Dave Wagner gets around the Gary Estes machine as these lap cars battle side by side. In the meantime, Matt Gribble Jr. got underneath the 7. Oh, and now Gribble and Gary Estes get together. I was just about ready to say Matt Gribble Jr. getting around the 7 of Rich Rohr, but the 5 of Gary Estes and the 12 of Matt Gribble Jr. getting together over in turn 4, and Rich Rohr got back underneath. So Rich Rohr back in second, Matt Gribble Jr. third. John Ballo, your leader. And now the second through fourth place cars are about a half lap behind your leader, car number 12, John Ballo. Matt Gribble sideways down the front stretch. That car definitely very loose. And there goes John Ballo down the front straightaway in that blue and white number 24. Back to work on the 7 of Rich Rohr once again, trying to get around for second position. And Gribble slips again over in turn 4, and now Whipke gets underneath, so Whipke now runs third, Matt Gribble Jr. in fourth. Traffic 11 of Chuck Silva. And Ballo gets blocked by the 5 of Gary Estes. Estes on the outside as the slower cars going underneath him, or the other lap cars going underneath Estes. And Ballo with nowhere to go, he had to get hard on the brakes, as now Ballo having a problem getting around some of these lap cars. The 88 of Norm Davis decides to make his move to move around the 0 machine, and of course he wants to do that right in front of the leader. And hard impact, Gary Estes in the 5 machine, hard contact with the wall on the backstretch, and in turn 3, Paul Storrow, number 5.
Gary Estes involved, and he got heavy front end damage down in turn number 3.
And that will bring a caution off.
Over the machine and Gary Estes.
Track officials looking and making sure that Gary Estes is okay. Track official Dan Hammond there on the scene. And we see Gary Estes moving around in the vehicle. And I saw him shake his head. He's doing all right.
John Bello now being reeled in with the caution flag. Still looking over the number 5 at KilKare. This heavy front end damage.
I know that we've lost the audio from the turn 3 camera. We're going to show you the instant replay now of this incident. The incident already happening. I don't know what started this incident, but you'll see Gary Estes fly into the screen, and you'll see the hard contact into the wall. Tough contact. If you don't think these cars are going fast around here, you need to see something like this. These cars really do move, and when they hit hard. Gary Estes is okay, and we're going to get the problem straightened up and cleaned up, and we'll be back to racing in just a moment. All right, once again, John Ballo bring him down to the green flag. Rich Rohr riding second. Gary Whipke third, and Matt Gribble Jr. in fourth. Give these guys a chance to cool their tires a little bit and maybe get a little bit better line on what's happening. A lot of these guys get very loose right now, except for that 24, the white numeral 24 of John Ballo, as that car is driving like it is on a set of rails around this track. And black flag being shown to the 7 of Dick Dunleavy Jr. Dunleavy coming back out on the track once again, and evidently fluids coming out of that car, and track officials giving him the black flag. Still your leader, Rich Rohr, Gary Whipke, and Matt Gribble Jr. top 4. Coming out on the track. I don't see calls at the moment. At any rate, caution comes out on the track, and we'll go back to green flag racing in just a moment. John Ballo brings him down to the green flag. Rich Rohr, Gary Whipke, and Matt Gribble Jr. in the top 4. Mike Holland is in that 5th position in the 97 machine with John Klein and 00 running in the 6th position. So the top 6 cars right now running pretty much nose to tail on the track, except for Ballo is now moving away once again. That car is really hooked up here tonight. It's sure a fun thing to watch when John Ballo has a good car, because there's no such a thing as being able just to run in one groove. Ballo runs all over the track, wherever he needs to get around the traffic and or the competitors. John Klein and Mike Holland doing battle out there. That battle going on for 5th position. As, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place cars. Oh, and Matt Gribble looks to the inside of Gary Whipke going into turn 1. And these guys really dicing it out now, as we are well into the second half of this race. So they're wanting to get some good positions. Also, the car's starting to get loose as the tires are starting to wear down just a little bit. And if you don't quite have the setup it'll be even worse and compounded on you. Unless you have a car that is set up like this one, the 24 of John Vallow. And John looks like he's just on your little leisure Friday night drive around here at KilKare Speedway. Gribble now looking to the outside of Gary Whipke, going through turn 4. Mac Gribble Jr. trying the hard way on the outside. And now Gribble takes over that third position and goes to work immediately on the 7 of Rich Rohr. John Vallow just shoots out of your screen, and here comes the second, third, and fourth place cars. Just a little bit of space behind them is the 5th and 6th place cars of John Klein and Mike Holland. And now Mac Gribble Jr. finally does what he wanted to do many laps ago, and that is take over second position. White flag, 1 lap to go for your leader, John Vallow. And coming out of turn number 4, your winner, car number 24, John Vallow of the main event Super Late Model Series qualifier here at KilKare Speedway. Coming home second will be the 12 of Mac Gribble Jr. 7, Rich Rohr is third. Fourth will go to the 24 of Gary Whipke. That is, of course, the red and white 24 of Gary Whipke. 5th is the 00 of John Klein, and rounding out your top 6 cars is the 97 of Mike Holland. Once again, your winner, the Fairborn Flash, car number 24, John Vallow. I want to thank you for buying this Penstroke Productions At the Track videotape. Please keep in mind that not only do we videotape here at KilKare Speedway each and every week, but at Columbus Motor Speedway following the NASCAR Weekly Racing Series. If you like the Super Late models, there you can have the tapes. We see them every week at Columbus Motor Speedway. For my partner Bill Yo, my wife Kim, and our production assistants Katie Moore and Mike Brown, I'm Nate Pennington, and we'll see you next week at the track.